Hey, Dembe Loyals, this is Hisham Tawfiq. Always remember that you are breathing for a reason. You are listening to Blacklist Exposed on Golden Spiral Media.
So glad you are here this week. You know how Scottie hates to be kept waiting. Welcome to the Blacklist Exposed. I am Agent Troy Heinrichs.
And I am Agent Aaron Peterson, and I am more than willing to step outside the lines with Scottie. You know, for America. Thanks for joining us this week as we discuss number 18 on the Blacklist, Susan Hargrave, which aired May 5th, 2016. It was written by Lucas Reeder and J.R. Orsi, and directed by Clay from Less Than Zero, Andrew McCarthy himself. I'm pretty excited about that.
I think Samar is a little upset with you. Might be changing allegiances here after this episode.
I'm sorry. Was Famke on this thing when we started? No. She's new, so I'm sorry. Yeah. Heads get turned. I'm sorry. What am I supposed to do?
She's 28 years, you know, and then you have to go shop in other places.
She took it one step further with the whole inappropriate dress code. So we'll get to that. Show notes and other intel for this episode of The Blacklist Exposed can be found at theblacklisexposed.com. Quick note before we get going this week. Well, first, let me give you a quick note. I am really tired. Troy is making me do this super late. So if I fumble anything like last week when I got called out, I don't know how many times, but you know, it's Katarina stuff. Rah, rah, rah. It was said more respectfully than that, but that's how you hear it. When you're called out, when you screw something up, all you hear is rah, rah, rah. If that happens, that's most likely what it is. It's jet lag. I literally have been up for about 17 or 18 hours, and I'm coasting. But also, last year we had an awesome fan feedback show, thanks to the fan tribute segment from Bill and Rory. Hey, golf clap. Well, we thought, why not try it again? So for the next 2 weeks, go out to theclamor.com, that's CLAMMR.com, because they forgot the E, and create something fun using what we said here on the podcast, mashed up with something else. For example, Bill already jumped the gun with this little ditty.
Why do you kiss people on the eye? It's weird. He couldn't see where he was landing his kisses through all his tears.
I know. He was just saying goodbye over and over and over. I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm not. And then she does wake up and she's blind in that one eye. Why is my eye numb?
Oh my goodness.
I still want to know if she's blind. That's what I want to know. We'll find out, I bet you, in season 4.
Are you blind over there, sir?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I'm sure she's dead. Liz is probably super dead.
Super dead.
So dead. Oh my God, so dead.
In an alternate timeline. The best ones of those clips will be featured at the end of the season.
It's a CWDC show now.
Exactly.
It's like Alt Earth.
The best clips will be featured at the end of season, so you have 2 weeks. If you need some inspiration, go back and listen to episode 27 of the podcast. Again, that's CLAMMR, clamor.com, and share your creation on Twitter or Facebook, and tag us at the Blacklist GSM so we see it and can include it in the fan feedback show.
Troy loves his clamor.
It's fun. It's good stuff.
Like I said, Troy loves his clamor. You know, I like the newfangled technologies and stuff, but I'm still using tablets, man. Like old tablet, not like a Windows Surface. I'm talking like an old tablet where I chisel instead of paper. I still use that. I'm old school, son.
Absolutely. Now we asked you to answer Aaron's profiling question of the week last week, which was...
Oh, crap. It was mine. All right. Well, is Susan Hargrave responsible for Lizzie's death? You guys are going to have so much fun hearing me go in and out of consciousness. Nicole says, not sure. I don't think she was being 100% truthful. Lori said, no. She was hired to abduct her only. Turns out Lori was right. Karen and Wanda both said no because Liz isn't dead. Theoretically, I agree with you, but you never know. She could be dead. She could be super dead. Others with a flat no include Robert, Larry, and Lana. Those that it said yes include Marie, Lisa, and Wilma. Thanks again for one and all for answering our profiling question of the week. But how will you answer next week's doozy? Who is Alexander Kirk? That's right. Internet PIs have been basically on the prowl for this information for a while now. We want to know what you guys think. Who is Alexander Kirk?
Everybody's related to somebody, right?
Possibly. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that simple, though. I think it's going to be a lot more detailed than that.
I hope so. Now, come on, smile. We're this close to this week's case profile.
I see what you did there. I see it. All right. Well, Famke Janssen, it's pronounced actually Janssen, where her native country. In America, it's mostly Janssen. So both are right. I think both are right. Right?
You finally got some international accent correct. I'm proud of you.
I basically, okay, here's the truth, Famke. If you're listening, I went to YouTube. It's the truth. Okay. Because I didn't know. I felt like I was always saying it wrong. And all these years I've been saying it wrong. I didn't care. I just swoon over the woman. I just loved her since On the Top and GoldenEye way back in the day, and then X-Men, and she's done a lot of stuff. Hemlock Grove. I was a fan of that show, even though it was psychotic. And she's a fun actress to watch.
Don't forget House on Haunted Hill.
That's true. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's been all over the place. She's a very talented actress. I'm excited to see her come to the Blacklist. And now that she's finally here, I guess before we dive into this episode, now that she's finally here and we're introduced to what has been bandied about as the potential spinoff, the character could possibly be a character for its own spinoff. How do you feel about that? Do you have a feeling now that you've actually seen her in action and you know kind of what the character is to a degree?
Yeah, I think that this is an interesting way to look at someone who, it's like a female version of Red in a lot of ways. Now, granted, she's got a full-fledged military army behind her, unlike Red, who's just got some hired people that have military training, but he doesn't have like this stealth force with all this technology and people that can watch you from cameras in the sky and things of that nature. So she's not as cool as Red, but she's pretty formidable in her own right. So it'd be very interesting to see if she's going to be carrying the spinoff as Red carries the Blacklist, or if other people that are going to be on the spinoff are really more of the main characters and she's just kind of the background character for the first part of the spinoff. Again, if the spinoff gets picked up.
Yeah, we should clarify. I don't think it's to series yet, right? It's just a potential spinoff.
I would assume we're going to hear the week of May 16th is when the upfront presentations are.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I liked it, and I disagree with you in a way. I don't think it's so much like Red. I think it's more of she runs a post office that's unchecked and has a lot more. They're very lax in what their rules are. Like, it's almost like if Red ran the post office. If Red was in Cooper's spot, that's how I see her character. She seems like she runs her own post office. And that's where I see potential, because I don't think it's going to be like the Blacklist. I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be operations every week and kind of, not to use your go-to reference point, but a little bit like Alias to a degree. Only more on the up and up.
I could see that. And I really liked the scene when Red gets arrested and she's just sitting there finishing her martini, walks out like, sucker, gotcha. That just kind of showed you like what kind of pizzazz and, bravado she has with her character. So I'm really interested to see how she plays out as we go forward.
Well, man, let's get into the episode. I definitely want to get into the one scene I referred to in the opening, because I couldn't decide where I felt on that one. Literally. So thanks to Rolling in the Mud, Tom pushes the episode forward this week, as we now know who was behind Liz's quote unquote kidnapping. Quote, air quotes right now. Yeah.
Oh, she was in charge of that kidnapping and also the other kidnapping.
What other kidnapping?
Well, the initial kidnapping before she died, and then, of course, the kidnapping after she died, maybe.
How many kidnappings can there be? Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Tat-a-tat, I like it. But her name is Susan Scottie Hargrave. Susan Scottie Hargrave. Or Susan Scott Hargrave. How many people have the name Scott in this show? I feel like the name keeps popping up.
It does.
Is it a symbol? Is it a symbolism?
Could be.
No, I'm asking you. Is it this is where you tell me. I don't know. That's why I'm asking
I'm
you.
not saying anything till later in the episode.
So you have a thought?
I have a thought, yes.
Just
but
the one?
It's not right.
That's it?
It's not the time to share it yet. Gotta wait.
Oh, we gotta wait for share time. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we meet Samuel Rand, a CEO
Sit on your carpet square.
A CEO for Eston's. I hope I said that right. Who needs a band of operatives to do a little something to the competition, and he needs motivation to cross the lines, which comes in the form of Scottie's breast. How did you feel about this being the introduction to the character? And I want to explain why I keep laughing and making light of it, because as someone who was raised by a single mother and who is the father of a young daughter, and so I have feminine sensibilities. Obviously, I'm a dude, but I have feminine sensibilities, and I have very deep respect for women. Part of me says that's a little over the line. Okay, that might be a little sexist in some respects. And the other side of me, the full-on dude side, said this is maybe the best episode of Blacklist ever, or at least the best opening. But I'm a simple man, that half of me. So how did you take this opening? Did you like this introduction to the character? Because I tell you what, the one thing it did was take me aback. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is those pictures of if you have a dog and something weird happens, like you hold up the treat and the dog's head does that tilty thing to the side and you're like, burr? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I did. I was just kind of like, whoa, did that just happen at 8 o'clock Central? My kids aren't even in bed yet.
Well, hopefully they're not watching the Blacklist.
Well,
man.
yeah, hopefully not. But I'm just like, wow, that was kind of forward. And that just really shows you what kind of a person Scottie is right off the bat. And I like it.
I like it, and not in a sexual way.
Yeah, no, she's like,
I do like it in a sexual way, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what I mean is I like it because it comes across as she's in charge of her sexuality. She's not letting men objectify her. She's in charge. And she clearly puts her feet in the sand in that moment. And I really liked it, but I didn't like it at first. At first, I was almost like partly offended. I think that's like the gut reaction, that knee-jerk reaction. You get, well, you can't have that. That's wrong. And then you're like, wait a minute. That actually works for the character once you know the character.
I was waiting for her to then take it, like, just take this hand out and give her, like, twists and, like, totally take him to the ground and break his wrist or something at the same time. Like, here, it's like, I like you, but then I'm going to kill you.
I think if he would have wiggled a little bit, that might have happened.
Maybe.
But thankfully, he played it cool. He stayed firmly inside the lines to a degree. It's just none of that is probably appropriate, but that's cool. We'll go with it anyway. So Red has her team killed to leave a message, both figuratively and literally. I assume that you knew this was Red because I actually saw this debate after I watched it. And as you know, I was watching it from afar. I was traveling this week, so I didn't get to see it live. And thanks to Troy. If it wasn't for Troy, I wouldn't have been able to see it. They have a note, and it just has an R on there. And I love fans of the show, man, because everything's a theory. I saw people going crazy about maybe it's not Red, it's from somebody else, throughout as the episode went on. So what did you think about that? I assume you knew it was Red right off the bat.
I had said it was Red right off the bat, and then I heard people talking about it after the show ended, and I'm like, Rostova? It's like, well, maybe it could have been that, but I really knew it was going to be Red right off the get-go because, previews, trailers, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like...
I don't watch those, though. I don't watch those. I didn't know that. I didn't see any of that.
But when I had the note there and it just had R on it, I was like, that's a damn sexy note. I just want to do that, like, T. Stake it in the ground. T.
Nobody's going to think Troy Heinrichs.
No, not at all.
Nobody. There'll be Ted.
Mr. T, maybe.
Tommy. Everything but Troy's going to come up because Troy's just not a common name, nor a badass name.
T-Bird.
T-Bird's definitely not a badass name.
No.
And is that what you were nicknamed in high school? May feel better?
No,
the nickname you gave yourself?
No, I was actually T-Roy in high school.
Really? That's the best they came up with?
That's the best they came up with.
T-Roy. All right. That explains a lot, man. You were probably stuffed in the locker a couple times?
A couple times.
Yeah. Still hurt? Sting?
It's a little tight in there.
Ego still hurt a little. So what did you think? Red's going for blood, man. He's literally going for Red. What'd you think?
There was a lot of blood too. It was splattered all over those crates. Was it Cobalt? Project Cobalt or the Cobalt mission? This was really interesting that he's going to take out her entire team when this entire team really had nothing to do with it because it could have just been a whole bunch of other operatives. So it's very interesting that he's trying to send a message. I don't know if I necessarily like the first message because it seems more like pissy.
Murder?
Well, yeah, murder. Yeah, I go back to when he was talking to Katarina in the Cape May episode when he's like, I didn't kill anybody who didn't deserve it. So, yeah, maybe he didn't do the killing. Maybe Dembe and Boz did the killing. But at the same time, he ordered it to happen. And I thought maybe this first one was kind of senseless in a way. Then when he ends up killing, what was it, Brian later?
Brad.
When he kills Brad later, then I'm like, that's more of sending the message. So that's more of the Red I like. So the first one was kind of like, little put off by that because of the Cape May episode. And his
Did
statement.
Brad deserve it?
Brad was a tool. I would have done it just because he was goofy.
Man, anytime he's shooting an unarmed man, I'm like, I don't know. That seems like a bad guy stuff. Brad is a bad guy. People keep trying to put him in this hero status, and I'm just like, man, he's still a villain. Just don't forget. And this, to me, nailed that home. He's still a villain. He's still a bad guy. He will do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever his goal is.
And I don't know what it is, but every time Brad pulls out that gun and puts 2 in somebody, I get really hungry too.
Lord,
I just
he's been waiting for a place to stick that.
I need a sandwich.
Great. Now I'm hungry. Been going all day, man. I'm really hungry now. Halcyon AGs, is owned by Scottie and her husband Howard, who is never seen in this episode. I wonder if that's going to come back. It's a private organization that works black ops with countries and companies. And it's interesting that Halcyon denotes a period of time in the past that was idyllically happy and peaceful.
Yeah, so here you have this company that is designed to take out people to further someone else's agenda, yet it's really supposed to describe a time of peace. These aren't peacekeepers. These are peace negotiators that then turn into war criminals, I guess. So it's very interesting, that the contradiction.
Are they, though? I mean, I think that was a little fuzzy to a degree as to how nefarious are they really as an organization? Are they, because the government, it turns a blind eye to them, so they must be doing some good, right?
Well, they're keeping the peace for the highest bidder. So it's nefarious because it's all about money versus just actually keeping the peace.
Halcyon's got bills to pay too, man. They got to keep the lights on.
Clearly not. Did you see their meeting place that they had Laurel Hitchens sit in? Man, that place was a dump. You'd think they could have at least some kind of spa or massage room or something.
That wasn't Halcyon. That was Red that put that together.
Well, that's true, I suppose.
No, not suppose. That's true.
Yeah.
You're just wrong.
Well, I thought it was where Brad wanted to meet, Yeah,
well, that's not Halcyon, though. That's still Red and Laurel Hitchens. I mean, that's their secret little meeting place, is they go to apparently a homeless shelter, and just that's where people pop caps and asses.
Abandoned office.
And the rest of the episode, obviously we're going to go into characters, which really goes in depth into the episode. But Tom uses his manly charms and teacher glasses to get in close to Stalder's cutesy assistant, Amanda Bigelow, who I really liked. Bring her back. She was adorable. And jump her air gap by sticking his flash drive in her USB port. What'd you think about this brilliant plan?
I laugh every time that line gets said. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was kind of like a Rom, where I was like, do I really want to see Tom try to put the moves on some girl? His wife just died, and
no. I'll answer for you. No, absolutely not. Even if she's not dead, then she's not dead. But if she is dead, or you think she's dead, then what a horrible thing to do. Horrible.
But technically they aren't married, so it's okay because they never did their vows.
I didn't say technically it's okay. I'm just saying it seems like maybe you could have. I mean, he's throwing her up on the counter and everything. I mean, he's fatal attraction in this action. But he's not.
Be clear here. Amanda leaned in first. Amanda looked like she was ready to put on the moves much faster than Tom was.
Are you saying it's the woman's fault?
It is totally Amanda's fault in this case. I was like, I swear that I thought she was going to have a different agenda. Like
Tom's
maybe
a victim?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? We're going with that? Tom was a victim?
Maybe.
All right. I'm going to use that in my life and see how it goes. Let me know how it works out.
But it was like, wow, she's like, oh man, that's a shame that you didn't want to sit by me because of the vents. And then she's just sticking her tongue down his throat. It's like, okay, she's got to be a spy that's trying to use Tom at the same time, because no woman's going to jump a guy like that fast. That you meet in a coffee.
I would disagree.
That you meet in a coffee
maybe
shop.
You just got married too
with
young?
A Cosby sweater on.
Did you? How old were you when you got married?
What was I? 24 or 5.
Yeah, that's why. That's why you think that. Welcome to the new age, my friend. Women are aggressive and assertive, and they are the power partner now.
Oh, now I got that song in my head.
What's that?
I got that song in my head. Welcome to the new age. To the new age.
That's a good song.
Love that song.
No, she was great. But he could have I don't know, rejected her advances a little bit, played coy, played hard to get, played hard to want something. I mean, he's all about it.
Yeah, and then he jumps the drink on the back of her shirt, and then, I'll go change. Bam, she's back like that. It's like, wow, did you have that on underneath your clothes? I
kind of wish I would have had that move, like in college. Could have come in handy. Oh, man, I spilled that all over you. Guess you're going to have to take that off. That'll work great.
But apparently Amanda is just an executive assistant. No spy, no nothing.
No spy. Very, very smart woman who is just lonely. And Tom crushed her evening. That's what he did. Because he's never coming back.
But he didn't crush her ROMs, giving out the sexy advice.
No, he didn't. We'll get there. We're going to the characters now. But before we get to the characters, there's a lot of lady talk this episode. I feel awkward. I feel inappropriate. But I hope you guys understand. It's just the way the episode rolled. All right, it's time to get into characters. Let's get into music, Troy. What songs did we hear this week?
So as Scottie surveys the aftermath of the Operation Cobalt attack, Fire by the Last International plays as she finds a note from Red, tacked to one of her guys. Meanwhile, Tom does what he does best as he picks up the ladies with his sexy teacher glasses down at the local coffee shop to the tune of Basic Feel by Power Haunts, playing in the background. And then later, as Amanda makes the moves on Tom, that's right, she kissed first, we hear Tilt-A-Whirl by Aleska, just as Tom accidentally spills his drink.
That doesn't make him not culpable. His wife just either faked her death or died. Either one. If she faked her death and he knows it, then she's still alive. So technically, he's still with her. And if she just died, then she just died. You're making out with a chick all over the desk. She just died. It's just not right.
I'm just saying.
There's like a 2-week period. There's like a 2-week grace period, at least, minimum.
Well, how do you know that Red wasn't in the opium den for at least an extra week?
That's probably a good point.
He said it'd been 4 days, so you got at least 5 days there that he's been with baby Agnes in the NICU.
Speaking of, okay, it's already become, you were right on this, by the way, it's already become the Rick Grimes baby, because where's that baby?
That's right.
Who's watching that baby this week?
Same person that's watching the dog. And Red's cat.
It's gonna be like the dog where it just pops up like 2 years from now. Hey, that kid's like 12. What the hell?
I got the new show for the fall season: a dog, a cat, and a baby.
It's fantastic. We both have said that was probably going to be the case because this is a show that has to move, and I don't think many of you guys, or us included, want the story to stop and focus on, like last week where Tom's changed diapers. It just didn't seem like that's a great week-to-week Blacklist element. And so we figured it would be like Rick Grimes on Walking Dead, where the baby's always, somebody's mysteriously watching that kid because Rick Grimes is always out killing people.
Yeah, and then they could have gone back to Tom's place, and Tom would be like, and the baby starts crying. I'm so glad they did not go there. And like Amanda's like, oh, is that your little cute girl? Oh, would have just so drugged down the show. Like I said, baby needs to go.
Well,
at least adopted out somewhere.
Don't write us emails. I realize that Tom is not actually into Amanda, but he just kind of seemed into Amanda.
Tom can seem into anything. That's his job. He's a masquerader, a puppeteer.
Just seemed like it. Poor Amanda's heart's broken. I feel bad for her now. Man, you know who I don't feel bad for? Laurel Hitchens. Boy, I don't feel bad for her. She helps Red find and kill Brad Clark. She's afraid of Red, and Red has a great line. Oh, it was like, I can't wait to hurt you, or something like that.
It was so good.
I can't wait. Whatever it was, I'm sorry. I meant to write it down, but like I said, I've been flying. So that was good. How do you feel about Laurel Hitchens coming back? I mean, Christine Lottie had a really small role this week.
Well, I think this was really good because it kind of shows the pieces on the chessboard. So Halcyon isn't a cabal. It's truly a private firm that governments could hire. So it establishes that they're not government run. They're just government sanctioned. And I think that really helps put it into play because as he was talking about how, you can also do things for the president to keep him safe, but you can also do things to shield the president because we were talking about how close the cabal was to the president back in season 2. So here the president might not be aware of this Halcyon group doing things to keep the country safe. Or are they?
Oh, I think they are. That's what I think. I think they are. I think the president ultimately is going to be involved in everything. In fact, he's probably Liz's dad, her real dad.
Running the country.
That's right. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hopefully somebody will make that theory happen.
Crackpot
figure
theory.
out a way to make it work.
Tacked it on the board.
Rowan, we see her again. She's playing a bigger part, and I got a feeling next week she's going to play an even bigger part because isn't this like backdoor pilot is next week?
Supposed
possibly?
to be. Supposed to be.
So Rowan, is she really a villain?
We were asking that same question last week. Is she really a bad guy? Is Scottie a bad guy? It's all dependent on your frame of reference and who you're talking to and what side of the coin you're on. I mean, in this case, we get towards the end of the episode, and now Red and Scottie are partners. So does that mean they're both bad, or they're both good, or they just?
Well, I'll get to Scottie when we get to Scottie because she's a little further down on the list. But if Rowan worked for Scottie, it really does all depend on which side of the coin Scottie ends up on, right?
Right.
Well, then we'll solve that soon. All right, Samar. Let's go to Samar. She tells us that Stalder's in the wind, but Amanda Bigelow, his assistant, is able to get them to her. So she's one that does the exposition on that. Doesn't really get a whole lot else except for being the object of Aram's affection. But she does do some swell Ford commercials. I got to ask you, do you love these tie-ins, or does it take you out of the show a little bit?
Oh, no, this was the best tie-in of the night. It was like we just got a 30-second ad being driven around by Agent Navabi in a Ford 2016, and then immediately I tweeted, I was like, I'd die for 5. It just goes right back to season 2. It was perfect ad placement.
Now, they did that last year too, right?
Well, yeah, with Tom driving around the Ford Mustang and everything. Right. But notice they drive Chevys, the truck that Wrestler and Samar drive around in is a Chevy, and I was like, "Ooh, someone missed that."
Probably don't want to point that out, Troy. I don't know how much money they get, from Ford. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
We don't talk about Chevy. That's pretty interesting. I like the commercial. I mean, Samar she didn't get a whole lot to do this week. I'm sure next week will be different. Next 2 weeks will probably be a lot different. Aram, though, hashtag Aramdorable, as always, loves rum raisin. Found that out. What is rum raisin? Seriously, I hear that all the time. I really don't even know what that is.
I've never looked for it, actually, because it just doesn't seem that interesting. But
it sounds gross, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, rum. I like rum. And I like raisins, but I don't want them in my ice cream. It's kind of like when they have bacon-flavored ice cream. Who wants that?
Right.
Why? Ugh. Sweet and sour? No. But he's a big fan. Apparently that's his favorite. I would have figured him more for like a birthday cake ice cream kind of guy, but what do I know? Obviously not much. Apparently they have a special relationship. He and Red, they're spiritual twins. I think he might be overblowing that just a hair. But he also does the classic "I get you" mistake of trying to be cool and referencing Fast and Furious with Samar when it doesn't belong.
That was a great play.
I loved it, especially because I'm a movie guy.
It was so good.
I loved it, and I actually was talking to a couple friends that watched the show, and they didn't get it. Because, they don't watch the Fast and Furious series. I'm like, what? And now they're going to go check out Fast and Furious. So technically, that line helped hopefully create new fans for Fast and Furious because we need more of those movies. We're running low on them.
Yeah, because the next one's going to be in space.
I hope so. I hope they're riding dinosaurs in space in the next one. That's about the next stop for those guys. He does it's a lot of exposition. He's doing a lot of techie talk. But he questions Tom on his ability to do what he has to do with the man. He calls him out on it. How'd you feel about that moment?
I think it was great. I think this is funny. If there was ever going to be a spinoff, I think we could have the Beard Brothers. Because these two gentlemen's beards were just marvelous talking to each other. And they're just sharing these stories. And it's like, oh, man, I can't believe you would do that. Oh, I'm so glad that you feel the same way I do about Liz. Very, very interesting about the conversations they're having and how he's, questioning and leading and, interested in how Tom actually gets it done but doesn't want to know kind of thing. But at the same time, then Tom's coming back and giving Aram love advice and what he needs to do in order to make a move.
Tom's is kind of a Crockett, right? Like a Sonny Crockett beard. It's not a full-on beard. Aram's is a beard. His is stubble.
Yeah, it's more like the 7-day shadow.
Yeah, this is an important distinction. And now it's like a 7-week shadow for me. For Tom, for Ryan, it's probably like a 3-hour one.
Maybe.
I mean, he's probably a real man, and he can actually grow stubble quick.
First step to admitting you have a problem is admitting it, right?
I've never been able to grow a beard. It just makes me sad and envious. And And plus, I mean, the guy obviously just walks into bookstores and picks ladies up. He doesn't have to do anything. I mean, really, I'm just jealous of Ryan.
Glasses and Cosby sweaters. That's what you need. That's the look.
That's
the preppy
That's
look.
what I was missing in college. Some Cosby sweaters. God. And actually, I don't think you can call them that anymore.
Mr. Rogers sweaters, then.
Yes, please. Let's correct that, because apparently that takes on a whole new meaning these days. We don't
sure does.
Don't go there. Wrestler Captain America is having a little civil war with his conscience, as he's not happy with Cooper skirting the rules, even in the name of Liz. Now, I think this is true to character, because that's who Wrestler is. He's a Mr. doing his job. Liz called him that. We've been calling him that every week since. Do you think that fits, or do you think he would go that extra step and break the rules?
Cooper or Wrestler?
Wrestler.
Well, he kind of did in a way, didn't he? When he played chicken with the limo at the start of season 3.
A little bit. I'm asking, do you think he's being a hypocrite here, or is he just trying to keep Cooper on the up and up?
I think because he had a taste of the chair, the power, leading the post office. I think he's trying to say, we really need to make sure that we're doing things in the way that we need to, because we got the cabal behind us. So we should go back to being the best agents we can be. Mm-hmm. I think he would still step out of line if it was necessary. But at the same time, this is Cooper just really going on gut instinct and like, she's behind it. I'm absolutely sure she's behind it. And I think that's when Wrestler does need to play the good cop and call him out. Like, do you really have enough evidence to move forward? No, the lawyer guy that Cooper was talking to, totally shady, right? I mean, he's just looking for a way to get an excuse to get the heck out of there.
Rodney?
Yeah, Rodney. But with him, doing that, it just really, I saw a different side of Cooper that I wasn't expecting to see. And so I think it was great that Wrestler played the good cop in this scene.
It was. Now, part of me wants to know, do you think that means gotta amplify some theories, some rumors, some scuttlebutt here? Do you think that means because he doesn't want Cooper to go that extra mile and break the rules in the wake of Liz's quote unquote death? Yeah, I said quote unquote again. Do you think it's because he's the only other person in the post office that knows that she's not dead?
Because he's the first one at the van. Everybody back away, back away.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he doesn't want Cooper to get himself in trouble because he knows Liz isn't really dead. Don't get too much trouble. She ain't really dead, man.
It's possible. Maybe that's who, because Kaplan was on the phone, so you don't know who Kaplan was talking to. Could have been talking to Wrestler. It's a good possibility.
Sure don't. Mm-hmm. We won't find out until we get, hypothetically, until we get the episode that shows everything that happened behind the scenes. Like, when they do the reverse shots or whatever, everything that happened that we didn't see in the initial episode. We won't find out.
Do you want that episode, or you just want her to show up? Oh,
no, I want that episode. I want, okay, if my perfect world, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
My perfect world, I would love, and we've talked about this last week a little bit, for there to be at the end of this season some indication that Liz is alive, whether it be Red gets a folder of a picture of her, or he gets a phone call from Liz, or he gets a phone call from somebody else, or Scottie maybe tells him, hey, Liz is alive, or something like that. There's an indication that Liz is alive. And then we'll see Liz in the premiere kind of thing. And then usually like 2 or 3 episodes into season 4, you get that filler that explains what happened. I don't want it right away, but I do want it at some point, or at least some flashbacks to quickly explain it. Yeah, I would like the blanks filled in, because I think for some viewers it would be hard to swallow if you don't give them some of that fill in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, season, if she's alive, then like episode 3 of season 4.
If she's alive. Yeah, I haven't even accepted the possibility that she's not. So
every episode that goes on further, you just go, well, maybe she is, No,
I don't. No, I don't. I know it. If they come, I told you, if they come flat out clean and explain the entire lineage, and relation to Red, and I don't mean quote unquote relation. I just mean you know what I'm saying. The word relation doesn't necessarily mean family. In relation to Red, their connection. And if they came out and did that, then I would probably swallow it. I would be like, wow, maybe it's a possibility. But the fact, and I don't do internet PI work. I don't look at who signed on for what. I don't look at upcoming stuff. So other people are like, well, I saw so-and-so on set, or I saw that. Don't know, don't care. If it didn't happen in the episode, it didn't happen to me. That's just how I view my life. So I would be more of the mindset that it was possible if that happened. I don't think that's going to happen. Although I would love for it to happen. I think it would make a lot of people very happy, but I don't know if the show's ready for that reveal just yet.
They reveal, like, Great Scott?
God. Yes, just like that. Just like that. I wanted to point out, going back to, again, let's get him back on track. Wrestler. I always love watching actors do war room scenes. And for people that don't know what a war room scene is, it's basically when you have actors in one room, right? And they're navigating an operation from afar. So they're supposedly watching on the monitor everything that happens. Well, people don't realize a lot of times there's nothing on those monitors. That's added later. And so they're basically reacting and acting to things that aren't there. And they're trying to make it seem extremely tense and stressful, and they're getting involved and they're scared. I love watching those scenes because I always see it as this is where you're going to see how actors do to inanimate objects in a show like this, and they all do really well in those moments. I always love these scenes in Blacklist.
I love that there's two microphones. Like, isn't there supposed to be only one commander, like, leading the charge, and Samar's on mic, and then Wrestler immediately goes to the other table, and he's like, he's on mic too.
Well, you know, Wrestler, he's probably like, I need my own mic.
Right.
Seriously, I want my own. Gotta have my own. And he gets it, because he's Wrestler. That's what he does.
He does.
Dembe and Baz, they show up. They don't have any lines, really. I think Dembe had like one or two. But they had lots of badassery throughout the episode.
Kevlar included, not hiding behind stuff.
A lot of shooting.
A lot of
killing.
Good stuff.
Yep.
But and Dembe's back.
Yeah, finally. Where's he been? Where's he been hanging out? He's just been, skiing, waiting for the call.
Checking on Liz, making sure she was okay.
It's possible. Yeah. Could have been babysitting. No, I don't think so.
Taking care of Agnes and the cat and the dog.
That's where it was. Dembe was taking care of Agnes while Tom was out getting his freak on with Amanda, the assistant. Yeah. Cooper's all after rules, man. He's all straight out of Compton this week as he pushes the team forward and snaps on poor old Rodney. What'd you think about Coop going a little rogue here?
I think this was actually really great because it kind of harkens back to how he felt with Tom in season 2, and he's like, man, I just can't get a break. Someone help me out here. Just all the frustration of like 2 seasons coming up in one spot because now his friend is dead, and just someone help me out. Screw it, I'm going to do it my own way, which has kind of been doing it his own way anyway because Panabaker said back the heck off,
Oh, yeah. I liked it. I mean, I like when Harry gets fired up. He's really had a few moments to shine these last couple episodes.
Agree.
When you really look at it, and he's always been a solid actor, and he's done a lot of film work. And if you go look at his work, he just has a lot of range. He does a lot of different stuff, and I don't think Blacklist necessarily affords him the opportunity to do a lot of that. Probably mostly because of what his position in the show is. He's supposed to be the leader, and he has to maintain a certain position on it. But I think he got some opportunity here to show how fired up he is about Liz's death and to show that he's going to get what he vowed to get done. He's going to accomplish that. And I think he played it beautifully. I really like his work the last few episodes. He's gotten a lot more. I think everybody has gotten. It's not cool to say because I like Megan Boone. I want her back on the show, obviously, when she's done being dead. But I will say it has afforded some of the other actors to have more of an opportunity to shine themselves, where I don't think they had as many opportunities because of the Red and Liz storylines.
Yeah, like example, Aram, right? There's like 3 or 4 or 5 different times he's got like the joke dropped in there, and every time it was like on point. Mm-hmm. Every single time. The question becomes does that get old eventually if that happens time after time after time after time? And then you're like, oh, it's just Aram being the funny guy.
Troy's question. I'm gonna get that to be an audio drop. Anytime you say the question is
Troy's question,
I'm gonna get an audio drop. It goes Troy's question. Yes, it's given Aram opportunities too. You know who it hasn't? And Samar and Wrestler, Diego and Mojan, they really haven't had that episode yet. Like Mojan had last year. She had that episode with her brother, or was it this year?
No, it was this year. This year, start of the season.
Yeah. Well, when they do the break, it always confuses me for time.
Right.
But Diego hasn't really had one of those this year.
It's true. Yeah, he really hasn't had anything since his old fiance died. Where it was like a really deep episode for him. So
they need to give him somebody that will die horribly so he can get one of those episodes. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe he could fall for Amanda. Like, because she's so sad because this guy came into her life and crushed her. And then Wrestler finds her and they get a relationship and then she dies horribly because she's connected to Scottie or whatever. And then there you go. Another arc. Just keep the pain pills away.
Whatever happened to Gwen?
Who's Gwen?
Gwen was the girlfriend to the dude that killed when they were trying to find Kerrigan.
Oh.
She was like hiding out on the porch and Tom's like, stay here, I'll keep you safe. Like, is Gwen still pining over Tom too? And now Gwen and Amanda are going to find him and then like totally like throw drinks in his face or something.
Boiled his rabbits. Tom's such a playa. All right. Well, speaking of Tom, let's go to Tom. We haven't really gone to Tom yet. The new Liz, I like that. That was cute. The new Liz Keene is doing some solid undercover work. Can I just, and I talked about this, I don't know how many times, but it proves why I like Liz. I do not like Liz and Tom as a couple. He's way more interesting when she's not around. Maybe agree or disagree, Troy?
Probably interesting enough to be a leading person, probably. Whether that's next season or as the show goes forward, who knows?
Theoretically, I see where you're going. Possibly, maybe a spinoff or something.
Something like that.
But do you think this has given him the opportunity to show more character depth?
Absolutely. I always thought Tom was an interesting character, especially when we get the backstory from Daniel about the St. Regis program in his interview. I really like Tom and understanding what Tom is all about, which is great then when he actually is the one that calls Red and says, hey, don't go to the airport. They're going to put your head on a platter. And then you're just sitting there scratching your head like, what is the relationship between these two people? Because like sometimes they can't stand each other. Sometimes like Red wants to put a bullet in him. Other times he's like, oh, I didn't ask Daddy's permission. And then he's like, hey, dude, just want to let you know, I got your back. Their relationship is so strange.
Hmm. It's interesting. I like that he's getting some stuff to do. I'm still a little disappointed in that whole Amanda thing. I think he shouldn't have made out with her, but it's my personal thing. I'm still like, the body's barely on the ground.
You're here. I'm here. You moved first.
He really stuck on this moved first thing.
Because it just shows that he was respecting Liz, that he didn't purposefully make the move first.
Oh, really? That's how it works.
Her air gap.
Because he didn't make the move first. He's respecting Liz. That is the biggest lump of crap I ever heard.
She moved first, and then he's like, all right, well, I got to jump her air gap, so let's just go ahead and see how this plays out and see if I can take advantage of it to put the USB thingy in the thingy.
You just used the air gap thing twice in like a 2-minute window.
It's awesome. It's such a great line.
You're a sad human being.
Like that came across and I was like, did he just say that? That's awesome.
You're a very, very sad human being. Okay, I like Sarah Hunt as Amanda. I mentioned that. I would really like to see her back. Would you like to see her back? I found her to be just a charming actress.
I did, as an actress. Yeah, totally. I just don't know how she fits into the show if she comes back.
Who cares? Find somewhere. She's rogue. Make her go bad.
Maybe
and then find out that she was playing Tom the whole time.
Maybe she can become Scottie's assistant on a different show.
Maybe. So we're just going to reference every character's. Maybe they'll end up on this spinoff next week. I do like that Tom pointed out what everybody who watches the show has known forever, that Aram better get on the ball.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking, my friend.
If
you want to ask Samara out, you better get on it.
100% agree. Where she could say is no, and then you're back to where you were.
Exactly. And you better hurry up, because what did you think about him pointing out that, Liz is gone, so this isn't going to last much longer? I guess I really hadn't put much thought into that, but he's not wrong.
Oh, as far as the post office, because Red only works with Agent Keene, and Agent Keene's not there, so when will Red, once he's revenged Liz's death, then will that go away?
Well, I mean, there's new Agent King. It's Tom. There's new Agent King.
That's right.
Yeah, outside of that, Liz is gone.
I thought it was a new bond between the kindred spirits, though. Red only talks to Moj Tabahi.
That might be the way they go forward for the time being, huh?
It could be. Could be.
Yeah, he only talks to Rum. He does seem to respect him.
Yeah, Red comes over. They go on bicycle rides together, eating their rum raisin ice cream, and then, hey, I got a new case for you.
I can't picture Red eating rum raisin. No. He seems like a mocha.
He was drinking wine and eating a bratwurst in the middle of the woods. So.
Yeah, that's odd. That's odd. Wine with bratwurst. I mean, was it red? I can't remember. It's very important.
Very important.
Very important. Okay, now Red. Now we're on Red. Really, he threatens Laurel, kills Brad, has a grand old time with Samuel's wife, Cynthia. I love that where he's like, no, I want to hear all about that. That sounds fantastic. But first, it was a great madness moment for Spader.
Oh, yeah. And the best thing about this episode was this is very classic season 1. There's like the Red stories are back, the little funny liners, like after he, shoots Brad and he's like, gosh, I'm hungry. It's those things that really make you go, this is why we love the Blacklist originally, was because of all this fun little quirks that Red has, and get to see them kind of showcased it once again, I think is really testament to the fact that, again, unfortunately, Liz isn't there, because she was kind of like the background character for season 1 and then came more forward and prominent in season 2. So it's kind of great to see Red going back to that old season 1 ways in this episode. It was fun and entertaining.
Well, it's been nice because he's been so preoccupied last few episodes.
Hungover.
Yeah, he's been a little hungover, strung out, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So it was nice to see him back to his Mad Hatter ways.
Bad Hatter. Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah. And he learns, yeah, right? You're welcome.
That was good. Happened. That was good.
That happened.
I tip my hat to you, sir.
We learned that from that fun little conversation about how Cynthia apparently thinks Sam has slept with everyone from movies that he watches. So she's warped. She's not right. That he hired Halcyon to take on Kerrigan, his competitor. So what do you think about this little twist? And can you explain a little bit? And this is where I got a little confused. And like I said, I've been trying to, I tried to watch it on the fly, so I might have missed some details. What are they doing exactly?
So there's a company called Kerrigan Holdings, and Kerrigan Holdings has been buying oil from terrorist countries, storing them in barrels instead of in tankers because it's easier to transport. And then the money goes back to, I guess, fund terrorism in a way. And because of that, it's actually been taking the profits out of other oil companies like Vestent Petroleum, where he's actually working. So that's why Sam hired Halcyon to then go ahead and take out this Kerrigan Holdings group. And that way their oil would be destroyed. So therefore, the Vestent Petroleum stock would go back up.
Okay, I'm still confused, but at least I got an explanation now.
Yes. Vestent
kind of makes sense.
Vestent doesn't like Kerrigan, therefore hire people to take out Kerrigan.
Got it. I liked Cooper and Red's little moment where Cooper asked him, he was very concerned about Red, and Red says, as long as I keep moving forward, I'll endure. Do you think he's finally over the hump?
He's over the hump for now, but when it finally stops because the moving forward ends, then what? His whole life has been about protecting Liz/Masha. So if they get closure, and apparently Kirk is the one that's behind killing Elizabeth Keene, then therefore, once he gets Kirk and bundles that all up in a bow, what does he have left to do?
That brings up an interesting point. Everybody keeps saying he's responsible for her death. Do you think he is ultimately responsible for her death? Because, she did die, quote unquote.
Right.
She did die from complications in childbirth. Is that really the same thing as killing someone?
The question is
Troy's question? Troy's question.
I'm going to have a jingle button now in my head. The pursuit of Elizabeth Keene caused the accident, which caused the early delivery of baby Agnes. Therefore,
I would argue that Tom's bad driving caused the accident, but I understand what you're saying.
Agree. So, responsible for the death, in a way, yes, but he did not kill her. So, there's a way you could play and work around it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, Solomon's probably more culpable than Alexander Kirk is directly, but
I was just seeing where you
Laurel Hitchens is really the one that's at fault, because she's the one that was like, "Hey, it's Masha Rostova. We got to go get her. She's a Russian spy and terrorist."
Exactly. I'm still trying to figure out why she's still alive. I assume only because he needs her.
Right. Because he still wants to own the Cabal and run the Cabal from their agreement at the end of the Director episodes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was just curious what you thought, because, I mean, people keep saying he's responsible. The person that hired him was responsible. And I just don't see it that way.
Right.
I just don't. I mean, I really think Red should see how responsible he is in some respects.
And I guess that's the biggest question, right? What is the relationship between Kirk and Red? And therefore, does that make Red culpable in her death as well? Because if Red, based on what we learned from Dom, wouldn't have been involved in the life in the first place, she wouldn't have needed protection.
It's a great question. I need an answer to, but we'll find out when we find out she's not dead.
It's Troy's question.
So, where can I get a bitchin' pair of Coke bottle glasses that render the TSA moot?
That was brilliantly done. I didn't notice the glasses at first, and then the retina scan comes up and he turns around. That was great direction and framing from Mr. McCarthy this week. That was fabulous.
Yeah, I need to get a pair of those because, just in case I ever get on a wanted list, I want to be able to get through security pretty quick.
Yeah, it would have got you on your flight home faster today, that's for sure.
It should have. Yeah, in case you didn't realize. I was delayed several hours, so that's why I'm so under the gun and tired and blah, 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 blah. You know what? And I had one of those things. I got to tell you a quick story. People like when we banter sometimes. So here's a little banter for you. So I'm at the TSA and I get through and everything, and the flight's delayed, and I get that one guy. And they should put this in the blacklist because I'd love for Red to take care of this one guy. It's always this one guy where he's basically, his day is more important than everybody else's. And he's like, I'm not going to deal with this. We're going to handle this right now. And he's being that guy. And there's always that guy when a flight's delayed where he thinks that whatever he's got going on is way more important than everybody else's. So we're going to get a solution because I'm going to yell loud.
Yeah, they're just going to pull up a plane for that guy.
Yeah, because you know what? Piss on safety. Piss on the crew's rest. We're just gonna throw safety to the wind. Let's get you where you need to be, Mr. Meeting Guy. Yeah, that's what happened to me today. Watching that guy.
And then, of course, he's the guy that goes right through security, and you're the one that gets, hey, you've been selected for a special screening, buddy.
Come absolutely. On over. I have full faith that karma will catch up to him. And if the Blacklist writers ever need something they just need to have a little fun with, kill that guy in an episode. Because that guy's always there. He's always the same. It's always the same guy that's like very loud on his cell phone. Also, I'm gotta get this deal done. Yeah. Get Roger on the phone. We're gonna get this deal done while I'm waiting on the plane. That guy. Kill him off, guys. Cast him, call him whatever you want. Call him Aaron. I don't care. And kill him off. Just kill him off. All right.
I was bitter about property taxes last week. You're bitter about flights this week.
That's what happens. It wasn't even bitter. It was hysterical. And I was laughing out loud at the guy. And I'm sure that was making him madder, but I don't care. I mean, you're being ridiculous. You frickin' moron. So anyway, when you got the whole episode, it happens around, or the end of the episode happens around an airport, and you had a long airport day, there's no way I can't correlate the two. What a dumb security guard. Back to the episode. What a dumb security guard. Don't double cross one of the world's most wanted men. That's how he gets the double jump on you. Right?
Love the reference of the checkers game and the double jump. That is such a great tie-in. Beautifully written in that scene. And I was really surprised that they were actually going to do that with this, secret door by this secret back, loading dock. Like, really, it's the middle of an airport. It's Baltimore. There aren't more people here?
Well, there are spots. There are dead spots in every building. So, I mean, I don't know if they're that dead. That seems exceptionally dead.
I'm a little nervous that they let you get on the plane now. You know all about these dead spots.
If you travel a lot, man.
Here you come. Got one for you.
It was
Aaron
hypothetical.
Peterson,
I don't actually know for a fact. It's hypothetical. And by the way, don't mind what's in my bag. That's actually it's a wine opener, I swear. Yeah. Just kidding. God, that door is slow. Best line of the night.
It was so good.
My favorite line of the night. That door took forever to open when he was trying to get to Scottie.
Yeah, it's like you got to make a grand entrance, so he actually uses that line. Like, I was expecting to make more of a grand entrance. Like, classic.
I loved it, and he shot her.
That was unexpected, and again, I needed a sandwich.
You're very hungry this whole episode.
I was
very hungry.
God, how do you shoot somebody so perfectly that you just get a bullet grazing to take off the skin to let it bleed a little bit, but not actually go into her arm?
Well, especially at that quick. I mean, I think only John Wayne draws that good.
No doubt.
And Clint Eastwood. Maybe Clint Eastwood. A couple of gunslingers. So now he's a gunslinger is what he is.
That's right.
Quick draw. Okay, so that's Red. Now we get to Scottie. she does a triple cross. Once Scottie finally agrees to meet with Red, she calls Stalder and offers him a deal. And she'll get Red killed if it squares her for not getting Liz snatched. But Red, like we said, gets the double jump on her. We find out that her husband and Red are friends. Her husband, Howard, who is never seen in the episode.
Yeah, they were in Kuala Lumpur together. And
yeah, so what do you think about that? What's the relationship?
yeah, that's the interesting part of this episode. So they apparently have done business together or were partners together at some point in time. And then for some reason, Howard has been adrift for about 4 years, and Scottie hasn't been in the same bed with him. So Scottie's taken upper management into her own hands. Very, very interesting things here because it looks like there's some, shall we say, history between these families.
Mm-hmm. What does it make you think?
Makes me think that maybe Howard isn't originally from the United States, because this is the second time in a season that we've heard Red use the line when he was talking to Hitchens, said, "Not my government."
Right.
And he said that before when we were talking about taxes, when they went to go talk to the hotel guy who had eyes everywhere across the city. We were talking about property taxes. And he was talking to Liz, and he's like, your country, your government. So this is weird because I thought that Red was part of the Navy. So if he's part of the Navy, then clearly he was a citizen at some point, unless it's not Raymond Reddington.
I think I'm going to go on opposites on you on this one. I think you're seeing it. You're looking into it too deep. I think it's to me, it's clearly somebody who has distanced himself from his country because he is either ashamed of what they did or he's furious with how they treated him in some respects. So he has disowned them as his country.
Gotcha.
He is no longer, he feels they haven't accepted him, so he is no longer part of that country. That's how I see it.
A man with no land.
Man with no allegiance.
Yes.
Yeah, no flag. He has no flag. He is a country of no one.
He has said that twice now in this season alone. So I think that's something to bring up. And so the question becomes when did that happen?
Troy's question.
When did he leave?
It's gonna be in your heads, I guarantee it. From now on, every time he says it, you're gonna be like, Troy's question.
So when did he leave the United States and not become a United States citizen anymore? And was that involved with Howard when they were in Kuala Lumpur?
Well, it doesn't mean that he actually did some paperwork. I just meant he's personally disowned them. He's just cast them aside. America, piss off. That's what he's doing. Hey, we're all getting closer to it every day. You never know.
November 2016 is around the corner.
Yeah, it is. Red, when we find out more about Howard, I think in the upcoming episodes, we'll have a little bit more to talk about. I think we're going to find out more probably next week what that relationship is, my assumption. But the one thing I did notice is she does speak very casually about Masha when she refers to Liz. So to me, that says it's almost as if, I don't know if she knew her, but she knows clearly what the situation is and the connection to Red.
Yeah, knows enough about it that she has a fondness for it, but at the same time isn't beyond tracking her down because of a payday that might be on the other side.
Right. So I think she's personally involved, maybe not personally involved, but she's involved enough to know the story and to feel comfortable speaking about her in a relaxed tone. It's not like she got the information in a file. She personally knows what the deal is.
And
that's the vibe I got.
She also makes it very clear in this episode, I think, my viewing, that she may have had feelings for Red at one point and maybe didn't like Howard so much because...
Why'd you get that?
Because she didn't take the job to kill Red. She's like, I'm going to pass on that job because I like you enough that I want you to stay living. So because she passed on that, my question becomes, I said that... You
don't want people to hear that anymore in their head?
I just don't want you to sing it anymore.
Nice question.
The question becomes...
And then you did it again.
I hate you. Does she have feelings?
I'm in your mind, man.
Does she have feelings for Red? Does she have feelings? Does she want to partner with him? Does she want to just tango with him a little bit,
I didn't get that, but I could see where you're going with it. I don't want to make that leap. I think they just have out of respect for her husband as his friend, didn't agree. She wouldn't do the death. She wouldn't do the killing.
Oh, she's doing it for Howard, the guy that she hasn't slept with in 4 years. I'm going to do him a favor.
Doesn't mean she doesn't respect him or love him. Just means that they got different life goals.
She's taking over the company. I don't
or
think she
married.
Expects him anymore at all.
It basically just means they're married. That's what it means.
She moved first.
Oh, God. All right. So we'll find out more about that. But it does lead to the final revelation that, like I said, the internet PIs have already figured out. You know exactly who hired me. Alexander Kirk.
I just want to be sure, though. Just you say it. It makes me feel better.
What's that?
That's what Red said to Scottie.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to be sure. Yeah.
It's like,
so apparently he thought this the whole time. We just never heard this name mentioned. But Red, he wants a business quickie. I like that terminology.
Yep.
With
We're
Scottie.
getting into bed together.
And the reason I say the internet PIs is because a lot of people, and I'm not knocking them, people love the show and you can pursue that information however you want. I choose to ignore it. Troy actually he follows that a lot, so he probably has known this for a long time. But I avoid knowing titles, looking at pictures, reading comments. I mean, I try to avoid anything that's about an upcoming episode. So, unfortunately, this one was spoiled for me, but, you know, what are you going to do? I knew the name was coming. So you knew that Alexander Kirk was going to be the name. Do you have a theory that's not based on information that is on the internet? Do you have a personal theory on who Alexander Kirk is?
I have zero clue at this point. I mean, everybody's going to be like, oh, it's Liz's dad or blah, 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 blah. I just think it's another business associate that's floating out in the wind.
Yeah. Why is everybody back to Liz's dad again?
Well, I'm just saying it could be. You know, there was that, depending on how you take that conversation at Cape May, was he talking about Tom or was he talking about Liz's dad? Did Liz's dad really get shot or did Red get shot? You know, you have to. It's all jumbled up in there based on the memories because the memories are jumbled up and can't be quite real, and you can't believe what you heard. And is Red lying to Liz, and all that stuff just keeps playing in your head. So at this point, I'm just going to say, he's just a guy.
If you,
he's kind of like he could be like Sebastian, the gambler from the comic book, where it's just a guy that Red had a partnership with, and it just went sour and went south, and maybe it was tied into. I assume that Alexander Kirk has got some connection to the Masha Katerina family stuff in some way, but it isn't necessarily a familial tie.
If you hold true to the Red doesn't lie to Liz, and I think that's been proven over and over again, I just think the fact that Red knew who Alexander Kirk was, and the fact that Red point blank told Liz that you shot and killed your father, says to me that Alexander Kirk is not her father. He's not, like, he didn't survive or anything else, because Red knows who Alexander Kirk is, and Red told Liz that she did kill her father. So as far as he knows, Katerina's dead, and her real dad is dead. So Alexander Kirk is not her dad.
We'll have to go back and watch that season 2 finale, because I want to know if Liz said, I shot and killed my father, and Red said, yes, but is that because that's the way Red remembers it, or does he know for a fact? Because
I definitely, to my recollection, obviously I don't have it in front of me. I don't have the tape, Bob.
Right.
But I do think that that is exactly what happened. That he told her, because I remember clearly. I couldn't believe how coldly he told her that she killed her dad, because it's got to be crushing for a person to find that out. And the fact that he knows that, and that Alexander Kirk is someone that he is aware of, proves to me it's not Liz's dad, not dead. It's somebody else.
But then you have the whole painting thing, and then you have the Pakhtova Rostova file, Rostova file, so we don't get anybody yelling at us again.
Yes.
So those things make you, and he's like, oh, this just can't get it. You know, this is getting worse. Some of those things make you go, okay, there's got to be somebody tied to the family still because of the way that played out and the way it looked.
I mean, I think people are stuck on family. I don't think it has to be family at all. I think it could be like a Berlin thing. We don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to go that route. I don't.
I
definitely don't think it's dad, a fake death dad. I don't think that's the case. And I love if people are jumping to that fairly easily, even though a lot of people still think that Red is her dad, even though I totally don't think that at all. But some people think that, and also think that, I mean, there's too many daddy theories. Maybe it's just something that's not family related at all.
Yeah, that's what I say, because after reading that comic book of The Gambler, I mean, there's just so much you get in that comic book series in those 5 issues.
Well, most people haven't read that.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of viewers haven't read it.
I'm saying you should go read it. It's out in a graphic novel now. You can get it on Amazon. if you want. But the interesting thing about that story is the kind of relationship that Red has with Sebastian and how it turns on a dime. And so this could be just one of these guys. It's somebody that he had a good business relationship. Could be like Howard, right? Maybe he had a great business relationship with Howard and something happened and bloop, they flipped the coin on him. And so maybe that's the same thing here. Kirk's just like you said, just like a Berlin. Somebody that's had a vendetta for a while and now he's going to cash in on that vendetta because he's so close to getting close to Red.
Well, I think we're going to find out. And that's why it's Profiling Question of the Week. I want to hear your theories and see if anybody can piece it together before the revelations come.
It's also why it's a two-parter.
Uh-huh. Dun, dun, dun.
It's big. It's huge. Huge.
It's going to be huge. So make sure you answer that question if you haven't. Like, who is Alexander Kirk? I'm looking forward to what people think about that. That's exciting. Now, anything else? Overall episode, like it, love it?
Yeah, I give
Don't
it
like it, what?
Solid B+.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, you got several weeks where we were blown away, and I think it was just an average good episode.
Yeah, I great to meet Susan Hargrave, get introduced to the character a little bit, see Rowan again, so she's obviously a permanent fixture for a little bit. No Solomon this episode. I did love that we have Operator 3-8 now, so Operator 4-6 taking vacation, Operator 3-8 is in the house.
Means we've got at least 46 operators, be my guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a whole
big organization.
It's a whole new blacklist right there. Just kill all the operators.
There you go. There you go. And it looks like Susan is going to live to see another day, possibly a season. You just never know.
You never know.
What do you think overall of the introduction of Famke Janssen?
Liked it.
Or Janssen,
Liked
depending
it.
on how you do it.
Very powerful. Very strong character. Love her and everything she's done. She hits it out of the park again this week, so I'd love to see her in her own show.
You know what, Troy? You just might. I mean, theoretically, could happen.
Could happen.
All right, now let's go. Show's not over, so don't go anywhere. But please remember to download the Blacklist Exposed app for iOS and Android, and be sure to go even deeper into the mystery of Red Reddington by visiting our partner Blacklist site, theblacklistnbc.com. If you want to find more special agents like yourself, check out the Trusted Associates section on theblacklistnbc.com.
And don't forget to head over to CLAMMR. That's CLAMMR, clamor.com. Create those Blacklist Exposed mashups. Be creative, people. Super easy. You can even do it right from your smartphone. Also, a shout out to James Steen, who called in wishing us luck on the podcast awards. He said that we, Troy and Aaron, definitely deserve it, and we put on a great show. So thanks so much, James, for calling in. That's great. We should find out if we are in the voting round right after the finale. So for that fan feedback show, we should have some information on the voting for you.
Yes, thanks so much, James. Really appreciated it. Mucho appreciate the good wishes. We'll be right back with this week's Red's Rhetoric right after this. Are you sick of the endless, poorly realized remakes as we are? Then take a listen to Remake This Movie Right, where we take a classic movie, figure out what works and what doesn't, throw a dash of humor at it, and then we craft our own remake. So by the end of every episode, we will remake this movie right. Recently featured as a podcast to listen to by the AV Club, you can find us at RemakeThisMovieRight.com or your podcast app of choice. Every movie you love will get a remake someday, and only you can make it better.
Welcome to Red's Rhetoric, that part of the show where we play the best scenes from this week's episode and where you can vote over at theblacklistexposed.com. Just look for the post for Susan Hargrave to answer this week's poll. Clearly last week you all understand the full power of glitter, as Red Glitter was last week's winner with 75% of the vote. This week's first scene comes when Red is in the mood to buy some real estate.
Hello, Lester. You must be Samuel. What a pleasure. What a garden. I love daffodils.
My wife tells me you're interested in buying our house.
They say gifting a bouquet of daffodils ensures happiness, while presenting just one means bad luck is on the horizon.
Hey, boys. I hope you're hungry. I have a triple creme, some Jarlsberg water biscuits, and my mother's famous cucumber dip.
That sounds delicious, Cynthia. Tragically, there's no time for snacks. Well, maybe some of Mom's famous cucumber dip.
Who are you? What do you want?
You recently contracted Halcyon for a job on behalf of your company. I'd like to know the details.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Cynthia, is that a touch of cayenne in there? What a nice little kick.
Samuel, just tell him.
Tell me what?
It's about oil.
Shut up, Cynthia.
No, I will not shut up, Samuel. He has got a gun. A competitor of Vestin's is buying oil from terrorists, the really bad ones. So Vestin hired Halcyon to get involved for some reason. I don't know what. Tell him, Samuel, you're doing nothing wrong. These people are evil.
I can't believe this.
I read his emails. Ever since I found him with a nanny, I look at everything.
We don't even have a nanny. It was a movie.
A nanny movie?
Not just nannies. School teachers, nurses, and a ridiculous threesome with two completely unbelievable police women.
Cynthia, they're just movies. I have never cheated on you. And besides, I don't think he wants to hear about it.
Yes, I want to hear about it, all about it. Unfortunately, I do need to hear about your contract with Halcyon. So, business first, and then, Cynthia, I'll be all ears.
The second is when Red is preparing to execute his double jump.
Whatever she's paying you, I'll triple it.
She told me you'd say something like that. All right, watch his head now.
If you care so much for your partner, what are you going to do when he wakes up? You just hit him on the head.
You got jumped from behind. Like you're a man who kidnapped me and helped you to escape. That's what will be in my report. There's no cameras back here. Stairs.
She'll have me killed, you know that, right? You're walking me to my execution.
All I know is Mrs. Hargrave's fully sanctioned by the U.S. government. Figure that makes me a defense contractor. I'm gonna buy my wife one of them candy-colored houses in Bermuda she loves. Retire with the money from this job.
I once spent part of a summer in Bermuda. The island, certainly not the shorts. Not a lot to do there except ride motor scooters and play checkers with the locals. I'm more of a chess man myself. But one tactic that came naturally was the concept of forced capture. Sacrificing a checker to force your enemy in one direction while your forces lie in wait for the exquisitely satisfying double jump. One quick look at the airport schematics revealed why Scottie chose the lounge on Concourse F. Conveniently located near a little-used loading dock. Shall we?
Please, don't kill me.
I said double jump. You're merely the first capture. Please, if you would.
Which was your favorite this week? If a single flower has you a bit nervous, vote Red Daffodil. And if you see yourself as more of a chess man, shorts not included, vote Red Bermuda.
All right, now we go to Special Agent Intel. This is where we read feedback from you guys about this specific episode. Linda said, absolutely positively the PR stunt of releasing info on a spinoff took away 50% of my fun of watching the show since then. I'm just waiting for the quote-unquote extra people to get out of the way so quote-unquote my show can get back to business.
Business.
How do you feel? Business. I do think it is probably taken away a little. Yeah, I've said that before. It took away quite a bit. But I will say that it was good knowing that, you know, Alexander Kirk is the force behind it and not Scottie, because that would have really taken away a lot of my enjoyment.
Yeah, so now the question becomes, like, what's the spin-off episode all about? Is it the Chronicles of Halcyon and all the people that they get hired by, and you're just going to have, you know, Case of the Week type stuff?
I definitely believe that, man. I think Halcyon's going to be the organization that is going forward. If they do the spin-off, that's what it'll be based around. I think it'll be like a mission series.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's my theory. I don't know. I know as much as you guys. I'm just guessing.
And technically, we haven't even gotten the backdoor pilot yet. That's supposed to be this coming episode next week.
It is. And a lot of people have asked, actually, I was supposed to address that because a lot of people have asked, several people have asked, what is a backdoor pilot? Because I totally blew my mind and didn't even realize, you know, we watch way too much TV, so that's like secondhand to us, but a lot of people have no idea what that is. That's basically where a TV show is planning on having a spinoff from their series. So what they'll do is they'll have an episode that absolutely is based in the world of the show it is, like the Blacklist, but it's also setting it up for those characters that are being introduced or being expanded upon to take whatever information is in that particular episode to its own series down the road. That's what a backdoor pilot is.
Very well explained.
Yeah. As well as I can with like no sleep.
Yeah. I mean, it truly, I think next week's episode is, if it is the backdoor pilot episode, as we've been promised, like right around the May 12th timeframe, then you're really going to see a bigger episode because it is the quintessential of a pilot, as if you were seeing this episode in September to kick off the fall television season. So hopefully big bangs, big booms, lots of gunshots and fighting. It'll be very, very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yep.
All right. Well, Alexandra said, darn it, I didn't love it. Last week I said the episode was slow. You said setup. This week felt like one long setup as well. Maybe it's my fault.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's a long con. I think I should apply Aaron's strategy of avoiding promos because, seriously, a scene from the last 5 minutes was in it. So I knew Red would be fine, I knew that we'd find Susan, and I knew that the meeting would have him in a power position, which ruined a lot of the suspense. It also didn't help that I knew about Alexander Kirk existing.
Agreed.
Yep. Don't do it, people.
I try to tell people, and I know it's really hard to do. I think Alexandra has even one. She's like, how do you do that? It's really hard to do. You really got to condition yourself because of the way the internet is. It's really hard to not be spoiled. And people because a lot of us have friends that are passionate about the show because obviously we all like it. When your friends are passionate, they'll inexplicably spoil stuff. And to me, a spoiler is anything that hasn't aired. Anything that hasn't aired is a spoiler to me. So I saw so-and-so on set. I saw, the title for the upcoming episode. That kind of stuff I avoid like the plague. The only time I ever really get spoiled is if my friends accidentally tell me, which happens from time to time.
Or if you don't push the pause button on the recorder too fast.
Yeah.
And you accidentally see the promo.
Yeah, sometimes I accidentally see the promo. It doesn't happen often. Usually I'm quick draw on that.
Promo doesn't mean anything. It's all marketing glitz anyway. It's all different when you watch it.
Yeah, but she's right. You did see the scene where they meet in that promo. Yeah.
Yes, you did. Red was scary this week. Gloomy and scary, killing left and right. And if being associated with Susan is enough to deserve to die, someone's paying attention there. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy it. It seemed like he forgot his principles.
Agreed.
Also, having watched this, I have to agree with Troy.
Uh-oh.
You're welcome. The baby has to go. Because I loved Ryan's acting, loved seeing Tom do what he does best, but I kept thinking, you have a brand new baby, dude. You should be with your baby. I know what you're doing is important, but... and so on. But if he does that, it's boring to the show. It just doesn't work.
I think I said that too. I've said that forever.
You just said a baby doesn't work. I said Tom and a baby doesn't work. I was specific.
Baby in general, out the window. Frag
whoa. Adoption.
No, not literally.
Adoption,
not literally. God, people, I'm not that sadistic, although it's fine.
Yes,
if you gotta do it. That could be a cool story element. Sorry, I'm a horrible person.
You never know. St. Regis is calling your name, Aaron. That said, of course, Famke Janssen is great, and as a character, of course. The humor with Aram and Tom was fun. Cooper's resolve heartwarming, and watching Red work, a.k.a. James Spader act, is always a joy. And I am, for one, thrilled he's no longer broken. I'll take scary over broken any day of the week. Also, how sweet was Harold asking Red how he was doing? Aw, they're besties.
I liked it.
So I guess my point is, the second time through, it was a pleasure to watch, because the second time is about sitting back, relaxing, and appreciating the little things. But the first time through, to me, was a little disappointing. Can't wait to hear what you guys thought. Winky emoticon.
You and your writing out winky emoticon. My God, man. I agree with everything she said. So there.
Yeah, I agree 100% too.
There you go.
The first time through, it was like, wow, there's just a lot of information in there. I got to watch it again. And then the second time, you're like, that was funny. That's good. I like that. Yeah. 2 times.
Well,
always watch it 2 times.
I generally watch, we always do for the podcast, but I was able to watch it a second time, thank the Lord. And I agree. It was much better. And a lot of that was because I had the expectation of Scottie out of the way. I had all the stuff that I knew ahead of time because of all the spinoff news that had been in the media, that I finally had that out of the way and I could actually just enjoy the episode.
Although you still didn't know what Vestin Petroleum and Kerrigan Holdings were, but that's okay.
Man, no sleep, senor. None. Cinco de Mayo hurt me.
Moving on.
Mona said, I'm fine with Scottie Hargrave being the baddie of the week. But based on what I saw last night, I wouldn't be excited about a spinoff built around her. Having said that, I thought the episode wasn't bad, especially since it's set up for next week, which should be a zinger. And fingers crossed, enlighten us about Red's past by way of Alex Kirk. I thought all the small exchanges between the characters, Red and Laura, Red and Cooper, Tom and Aram, Cooper and the lawyer, Red and the chump's wife, Sylvia, were excellent. Nice punctuations in a cat and mouse game with Scottie.
Cynthia.
Yeah, she said Sylvia.
Yeah.
I was just, yes, it was Cynthia. Yes,
Cynthia,
was the
yes.
wife.
And
the chump's wife's name.
His name was Chump.
Yeah, his name was Chump. Poor guy. I mean, he got accused of sleeping with everybody that's ever been in a movie. That's hard.
Right. Check the tapes. Barbara said, I just had a thought that might make us all embrace the spinoff. We know that Scottie's husband Howard and Red are good friends. Mm-hmm. That means that it's very likely that Mr. Kaplan knows her as well. Mm-hmm. What if they teamed up to fake Liz's death to draw out Kirk, Red's arch nemesis, and save Liz once and for all? It seemed odd to me that Scottie would turn down an opportunity to make what would have been a huge bundle to kill Red, unless she wasn't really the evil Bitch we're being led to believe. Just a theory, and one that I kind of like.
I don't think she's evil at all. I think they're painting her in a very gray area, just like, well, I don't think Red is really, I don't think Red is really in a gray area. He's a villain who's just a likable villain. And a relatable villain, but he's still a villain, where I think she's more of in the gray area. I think they're pitting that. They're creating a character similar to Red and Vane that we're not so sure about her motives, but we will ultimately follow her. That's what I'm getting.
She's just wrestler, doing her job. I was hired to kill people. I'll kill people. As long as the check clears.
No, her hair moves. I saw it. It flows in the wind. Neil said, great episode with great possibilities for the spinoff. It's crazy how varying the opinions are on that. Some people love the idea of the spinoff. Some people hate the idea. I don't know where we all
at this point, sit. NBC just better pick up the spinoff, because if they don't, people are going to lose their minds.
Maybe.
Why'd you tell us? Why'd you tell us? And then you don't even pick up the show. You just ruined my entire third season.
Great episode with great possibilities for the spinoff. It seems the next episode will lead even more in that direction. Yep, that's what we're being told. The only thing is that Liz's botched abduction looks even more stupid. There had to have been an easier and less dangerous way to have attempted that. Yeah, agreed. That just seems like a horribly thought out plan.
Yeah, like putting on your brakes before you hit the garbage truck.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of guns, a whole lot of bullets when you're just trying to calmly and peacefully remove that pregnant woman from the captor. Yeah.
Crystal said, great episode. They did a good job getting a bunch of stuff set up for the rest of the season. Famke Janssen was stunning and intriguing. I am loving that Cooper won't back down. He did a great job tonight. The exchange of words between Red and Tom was a little weird from how civil and polite they were being. That's where I scratched my head too. I'm like, what is it with these two? Looking forward to what's next, but it's bittersweet because I don't want it to be the end of the season.
I know it's coming.
I was surprised how fast these 6 have felt. I thought
it's been zipping along.
I know.
Yeah, it was zipping along. And Janssen or Janssen are both right. I think she's fine with either. I've seen her in interviews, and people say it both ways, and she's fine. I think she's just like, hey, whatever. You're not smart enough to know that it's Janssen. You could say Janssen. That's fine.
Okay.
Marilyn wants to know who is watching Agnes. Oh, must be the same people watching Hudson. Good call.
Agree.
Good call.
A dog, a cat, and a baby. Just saying.
Yep.
Pick it up as a pilot. Quick flashback for all of you before we read Joey's statement and to finish off the show here. At the beginning of episode 2, The Freelancer, Liz has to take a polygraph examination, and the examiner, Hatch, starts the examination with the following words. Monday, 9:07 a.m., Examiner Hatch. Subject, Elizabeth Scott Keene. Here we go. With that, Joey said, Susan Scott Hargrave, Elizabeth Scott Keene. I think Bokenkamp Land strikes again.
So you're thinking, it's not Katerina Rostova because Red knows what she looks like.
Right.
So you think sister?
Could be.
You think connection of some sort? Because Scott is definitely a common name. I said that at the beginning of the show, didn't I?
Yeah.
Did I mention that?
That's why I was holding off to the end, because I didn't want to take Joey's thunder.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks. I didn't see that comment.
No problem.
So what do you think?
Very, very possible. It seems really, really interesting that both just happen to have the same middle name, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Happy coincidence, maybe? You never know. Maybe there's a relation we weren't aware of. But it does seem Red is very familiar with the family, so that would be very surprising.
Very surprising. Could be an aunt.
But Red would know the aunt, wouldn't he? I mean, he knows Brian Denny. He knows Dad pretty well. I mean, it would be kind of weird that he wouldn't. Well, maybe that's how they're friends.
Maybe
that is how they're friends. Okay, they could be connected. That's possible. It is possible. That would be interesting. Maybe that's why he won't kill her.
Yep. Just leave it in the back of your head. Susan Scott Hargrave, Elizabeth Scott Keene. And is her last name really Keene? Because was Tom's last name really Keene? I'm just putting that out there.
Elizabeth Scott Phelps?
Yeah, exactly.
Rostova? Elizabeth Scott Rostova Phelps Keene. Is that her name?
That's too many hyphens. I can't do it.
I think that's what should go on the nameplate or the FBI badge or something. Well, I think it's going to do it, Troy. I think we have wrapped this puppy up. We have connected the dots. We have landed the plane. We are ready to go into the final two. Are you excited?
I am super excited. Booking camp, when I talked to him when I was out in L.A., he said, hope you enjoy the end of the season because it's different and it's fun, and he did not let me down. This has been one hell of a ride these last 3 or 4, and the last 2, I'm telling you, it's going to pay off. Something big is going to happen. Oh,
I think something huge is going to happen. I can't wait. I can't wait for the finales, especially. I'm really curious where they go with all these quote-unquote deaths.
Before we wrap up, we should probably mention that next week, the part 1 of the finale, we are going to have to record the show a little bit early.
Yes. I've been a traveling fiend this month. It just so happens. And actually, we had it all worked out. It was going to be just fine, but then they added an episode.
The show had to go be awesome, and they had to add an extra episode.
They kind of screwed me up because I'm not like a super nerd. I didn't plan my vacation around the Blacklist Exposed or the Blacklist itself, but I had basically conveniently planned it so that it was going to be the week after everything was done. So it's going to be easy, and we're going to get this show wrapped up and da-da-da-da after the season closed. Well, now we got the extra episode, so things are a little different.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the kind of normal show that we've got up to this point, minus Special Agent Intel. We'll save Special Agent Intel till after the second episode so that we can have the discussion with all of you about the entire 2-parter as a whole. So we'll give you our thoughts about the first part and how it'll lead into the second, and then we'll do all the Special Agent Intel stuff after the second episode the following week.
Correct. And in the next episode, next week, actually, you'll get the episode, Friday, probably?
Yeah, maybe a day early.
After.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't promise it'll be as good because we won't be able to watch. Well, we'll still watch it twice. We'll just watch it back to back.
Kind
of thing.
East Coast, West Coast.
Exactly. So we'll have that out. But then the following week after the finale, it'll actually go up probably Sunday. So normally the episodes go up on Saturday. I think last week we got it out a little late because of some schedule conflicts. But for the finale, it won't come out until Sunday. So just so you're aware ahead of time. We'll remind you next week, but don't think we didn't do it or anything. It's just it's going to come out a day later than normal because NBC had to be awesome and throw that extra episode in there.
Thank you, NBC.
It's like they don't care about my time. I don't appreciate it. They don't care about my time. I'm just kidding.
Keep the Blacklist train rolling, man. I don't want it to be summer because then there's no TV to watch.
Hey, man, Hell on Wheels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I'm like the only guy that watches that show, but I love that show.
It's on the queue. It's in the queue. I got to start that one up.
Right.
So early episode release next week. No Special Agent Intel. We'll do that the week after. That gives you an extra day to get your Special Agent Intel in for the 2-parter discussion. And then, of course, we'll have the fan feedback, Palooza season wrap-up episode, and potentially an interview as well.
Yep. Excitement awaits. I can't wait to see how that all works out. That's going to do it, though. So that's going to conclude this episode. This episode is done. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at The Blacklist GSM, where we live tweet during the East Coast feed, and we use the show's hashtag, The Blacklist. Oh, we only got 2 more left, man. Make sure you join in. Follow us on Twitter. It's great.
Absolutely. Don't forget to follow us on Tumblr, Instagram, and also join our Facebook group, now over 1,000. Thank you so much for coming out there and having fun discussions. Just search for The Blacklist Exposed on Facebook. Talk about the show, the podcast, or just make fun of our dumb comments.
Your dumb comments. Mine are brilliance. That's not true, but it made me feel good to say that. This is where you could just jump in and be like, yeah, Aaron, you are smart. Help a brother out.
Maybe you should be less tired, then you'd be more smart.
You're just like a mean person. I don't know how you sleep at night. Probably comfortably, though. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, leave us a review, listen from the website. But if you are really on the go, make sure you download our app for iOS and Android, powered by Spreaker. You will also find all the intel and analysis about this episode for Susan Hargrave by visiting theblacklistexposed.com. Big thanks for listening. Please don't forget to answer our profiling question. Who is Alexander Kirk? Not Captain Kirk, Alexander Kirk.
With that, we'll see you next week. Kirk out. Until next time, I'm Agent Troy Heinrichs. That's at Troy Heinrichs on Twitter. And if you want to learn more about me, just visit, about.me/Troy Heinrichs.
And I'm Agent Aaron Peterson. You can hear me talking about movies and TV on the Hollywood Outsider podcast, as well as Remake This Movie Right. We are available at thehollywoodoutsider.com or on Twitter at H_outsider. Be sure to subscribe, download the app, submit your feedback, but most importantly, keep yourself off of the Blacklist.
The Blacklist Exposed is a Golden Spiral Media production. Find more of our great podcasts at goldenspiralmedia.com/podcasts.